Absolutely extraordinary.
What's up guys, Manime here, and today we're going to be talking about dialogue in anime. Dialogue is one of the hardest things to master when it comes to the film medium, but luckily enough, dialogue has flourished in anime. Good dialogue is incredibly hard to pull off because there's this stigma that if you have to use dialogue to explain something, then you are not using the medium to its fullest potential. A lot of anime use dialogue to explain situations in the world, but today I want to focus on the difference between appropriate ways of handling dialogue and inappropriate ways of handling dialogue. The first one is generally referred to as an info dump. Now, most info dumps are done horribly and is generally the cause of a lot of outrage. These are extremely easy to spot and a very good way to tell if the anime is going to be good or bad. Now, some shows require an info dump to establish the world, but if done right, these can be excellent. The best info dump I've ever seen is the one at the beginning of Snafu. We see our main character Hachiman interact with the world and establish that he is a high school student who has no friends. Now, it could have been something along the lines of like, "Hi, my name's Hachiman and I'm a pessimist who has no friends at my Japanese high school." Instead, they have Hachiman go over the paper he wrote on youth. This paper never directly references himself or the world, but it does help us understand Hachiman's life, his outlook on the world, and sets a very specific tone for the rest of the anime. Now granted, this is all done via inner monologue, but it works well because it establishes just how closed off Hachiman is from the rest of the world. Now Snafu is an excellent example of an anime with damn near perfect dialogue. Excluding the intro, the entire first episode takes place in 3 locations, one of which is literally an empty room with 2 chairs where our 2 main characters talk for the majority of the show. I think the writer wanted to prove the point that if done right, dialogue is a perfectly fine way of accomplishing the goal of progressing a story. The next thing I want to talk about is the convenient conversation trope. This is a pretty hard one to describe, but the best way I can think of is it's when the conversation is overtly alerting the viewers of the situation of what is going on in the anime. Although these conversations do happen in real life, they are really boring. So how do you spice up these conversations? Now, these conversations are mandatory in anime, but you can do more to make them seem less boring. A common scheme is to have 2 characters talking about something related as just a general conversations where the viewers pick out the details that we need. I know it's not an anime, but Pulp Fiction is a good example. Instead of having Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta say, "Hey, our boss is a crazy motherfucker," they talk about foot rubs and whether or not they are sexual. This leads into a small conversation where we learn about how their boss almost killed a man who gave his wife a foot massage, but the majority of the conversation is about the foot massages. I know Spice and Wolf also does this tactic in a few of their conversations. They enter a lot of different towns and have a few conversations with different people. Often they will be talking about some random unrelated topic that will give us hints as to what this town has in store. Once again, Spice and Wolf is another anime that features some pretty excellent dialogue. The dialogue is so good at certain parts that it helps tremendously with keeping you entertained while watching what should be a boring anime. Either way, dialogue is an important and almost mandatory part of anime. Lots of shows do this well, but I really wanted to find the difference between good dialogue and bad dialogue. There are many more creative ways to use dialogue that I haven't gone over, but those are the 2 most prominent ways dialogue is misused. And also examples of anime that were able to solve those problems without misusing it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like my content, don't be afraid to subscribe. I make 2 anime related videos a week. As usual, make sure you guys share, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Manime Matt. Make sure you guys stay man. Go watch that goddamn anime!